Previously, on the Dungeon of the Mad Mage,
Everything was coming up sevens.
the party was dealing with the aftermath of a poisoning attempt at the Lifted Spirits. The party had contacted the authorities, called in assistance from allies, etc., and had even gone so far as to hire additional security personnel for a time. But after the flurry of activity on the morning of the 25th, the party found themselves mostly out of actions that they could take on the matter. So they turned to the other activities they had originally planned on doing this day. Bones stopped by his poisoner and made arrangements to track down who had sold the cocktail of poisons that had been used against the Lifted Spirits. He then headed to the Wormbone and worked with Ochotu for the rest of the day. Matashtai made an effort to sell the party's loot, eventually using a contact he had made while carousing in an attempt to find a collector for the Malerkin gear. Ezrah spent time at the Font of Knowledge, trying to find ways the party could protect themselves from the shadow under the mountain, but unfortunately he came up empty-handed. Still, his research implied there were potential options, but none that he could find at the moment. Ashes, in turn, headed to the Temple of the Moon, eager to both take Amnestria up on her offer to learn, as well as to repay her and the temple for what they had done for the party. He spent his time with other volunteers packing medicinal herbs into bundles. Only after an accident did he realize that the bundles contained herbs that were somewhat harmful to lycanthropes. At the end of his day, he was greeted and thanked by one of the wardens, who told Ashes that the process the tiefling was going through was the same path the warden had trod to reach his place. Later that evening, the party met back at the Lifted Spirits, and while the others busied themselves designing a drink to slander their poisoner, Emic Froon, Bones decided to take matters into his own hands. He visited Froon's brews, and after being told to leave, and after casing the place, he paid several individuals to create a distraction at the bar. Afterwards, he snuck into the back of the bar where he found a distillery, as well as a drawer of caustic liquids and poisons. Unfortunately, during the discover, he knocked over one of the bottles, injuring himself and alerting individuals within the bar. He narrowly made his escape and sped back to the Lifted Spirits with this newfound information. While the party discussed what they were going to do, they were interrupted as Saith Cromley and Barnabas Blastwind entered the bar. They seemed to deliberately ignore the party and sat down, having a loud conversation about how these were dangerous times and how the Watch relied on the vigilance of the citizenry to alert them of dangerous situations and individuals, especially the types of things that could start large fires or be a general harm to the populace. They then left. Taking this opportunity, Bones rushed around the building, bumped into the two of them as they were leaving, and dropped a piece of parchment in front of them that had all of the information he had discovered. Hoping that at this point, the Watch would be able to handle the situation, the party opted to leave it in their hands and rest before heading back into the dungeon the next morning. However, as the party was partaking of a nightcap and Bones was gifting Matashtai with a new blade, there was a knock at their door. Beyond was Leandre, their new halfling night security. As she came in, she shared some disturbing news with the party. Their home was being watched by cloaked and hooded figures. The kinds one would assume to be the killing type. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.